We've all heard of the astonishing feats that hackers are capable of. We've narrowed down the list to 10 of the greatest hackers in history. These hackers have shut down thousands of government systems, stolen the private information of millions of individuals, hacked into government networks, multi-million-dollar businesses, and much more. Others have now turned their life around by putting their hacking abilities to good use, while the majority are still in jail for their illicit behavior. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today, we'll be looking at the 10 greatest hackers of all time. So, let's start our video. Number 10. Kevin Mitnick. Kevin Mitnick, an influential figure in American hacking, began his job as a teenager. He was accused of stealing computer manuals from Pacific Bell in 1981. The hacking of the North American Defense Command, NORAD, in 1982 inspired the 1983 film War Games. In 1989, he broke into the Network of Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC, and made copies of its software because DEC was a significant computer company at the time. This move brought Mitnick to the forefront of public consciousness. Later, he was arrested, convicted, and sentenced to prison. Number 9. Anonymous. In 2003, Anonymous began on 4chan message boards in an undisclosed thread. The group is poorly organized and loosely centered on the idea of social justice. In 2008, for instance, the group took issue with the Church of Scientology and began blocking its websites, badly affecting its Google search rankings and flooding its fax machines with all-black images. In March 2008, a group of Anons, donning the now famous Guy Fawkes mask, marched past Scientology temples around the world. According to The New Yorker, while the FBI and other law enforcement agencies have tracked down some of Anonymous's most prolific members, the absence of a true hierarchy makes it nearly hard to identify or eradicate Anonymous as a whole. Number 8. Adrian Lamo. In 2001, 20-year-old Adrian Lamo used an unsecured content management tool at Yahoo to add a fabricated comment ascribed to then-attorney General John Ashcroft in a Reuters article. Lamo frequently breached computer networks and then informed the press and his victims. In several instances, he assisted in cleaning up the mess to enhance their security. However, as Wired notes, Lamo went too far in 2002 when he hacked the New York Times intranet, added himself to the list of expert sources, and began conducting research on prominent public personalities. Number 7. Albert Gonzalez. Gonzalez, called Soup Nazi by the New York Daily News, began his career as the unstable pack leader of computer nerds at his Miami high school. Eventually, he became active on the illicit trade website ShadowCrew.com and was regarded as one of its finest hackers and moderators. Gonzalez was arrested in New York at the age of 22 for debit card fraud relating to the theft of information from millions of card accounts. To avoid jail time, he became a Secret Service informant, ultimately assisting in the indictment of scores of Shadow Crew members. Number 6. Matthew Bevan and Richard Price. Matthew Bevan and Richard Price are British hackers that infiltrated numerous military networks in 1996, including Griffiths Air Force Base, the Defense Information System Agency, and the Korean Atomic Research Institute, KARI. After disseminating KARI research to American military systems, Bevan and Price have been accused of nearly igniting a third global war. According to the BBC, Bevan claims he was attempting to substantiate a UFO conspiracy idea, and his case is similar to that of Gary McKinnon. Bevan and Price reveal that even military networks are vulnerable, malicious intent or not. Number 5. Johnson James Anchetta. Johnson James Anchetta was interested in bots, which are software robots that may infect and ultimately control computer systems. Using a series of massive botnets, he compromised over 400,000 PCs in 2005. According to Ars Technica, he rented these PCs to advertising firms and was also compensated to install bots or adware on certain systems. Anchetta was given a 57-month prison sentence for his exploitation of botnet technology. Number 4. Michael Kals. Michael Kals, popularly known as Mafia Boy, found out how to gain control of university computer networks in February of 2000. He utilized their combined resources to displace Yahoo, the dominant search engine at the time. Within a week, he brought down Dell, eBay, CNN, and Amazon with a distributed denial of service (DDoS) attack that overwhelmed corporate servers and caused their websites to fail. Due to Kals' intrusion, it is not an exaggeration to suggest that cybercrime legislation suddenly became a key government priority. Number 3. Kevin Poulsen. In 1983, 17-year-old Poulsen hacked into ARPANET, the Pentagon's computer network, using the alias Dark Dante. The government opted not to pursue Poulsen, who was a minor at the time, despite his first capture. He instead got off with a warning. Polson continued hacking despite this warning. In 1988, Polson hacked a federal computer and accessed papers belonging to Ferdinand Marcos, the deposed president of the Philippines. When authorities located Polson, he retreated underground. Polson kept busy while on the run by hacking government data and releasing information. Soon after his detention, Polson was prohibited from using a computer for 3 years. Since then, he has switched to white hat hacking and journalism. Number 2. Jonathan James. Jonathan James, using the moniker Comrade, hacked multiple businesses. According to the New York Times, James's intrusion into the computers of the United States Department of Defense drew the most notice. Even more remarkable was the fact that James was only 15 years old at the time. In an interview with PC Mag, James stated that the novel The Cuckoo's Egg, which describes the hunt for a computer hacker in the 1980s, influenced him in part. His hacking enabled him to access over 3,000 federal employee messages, usernames, passwords, and other critical information. In 2000, James was caught and sentenced to 6 months of house detention and a prohibition on computer use for recreational purposes. However, a violation of his probation sentenced him to 6 months in jail. Jonathan James was the youngest person ever convicted of cybercriminal violations. James committed suicide by shooting in 2008. Number 1. Astra. This hacker is unique among those on this list in that he has never been identified publicly. However, according to the Daily Mail, some information concerning Astra has been disclosed. According to reports, he had been hacking into the Dassault Group for nearly 5 years. During that time, he stole software and data related to cutting-edge weapons technology, which he then sold to 250 people throughout the world. The harm caused by a cyber attack to the Dassault Group was $360 million. No one knows why his full identity has never been disclosed, but the word Astra means sword in Sanskrit. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the following video with some more of the latest updates, and until then, stay tuned.